All right, round three team. We are live. I am Rayfield, your host. Down below me here is Chase Militia Keebler, and we're going to get right into it. I mean, if you've been keeping up with us, then you know what we're doing here. We are reviewing the card that just happened yesterday, and then we are going to preview the card that is going on next week. So we're going to get right into it, Chase.
All right, sounds good.
Israel Adesanya and Joe Pyfer. So
Do you want
as
to
we
start
know,
this one off?
Joe Pyfer gets the second round knockout. So tell me what you thought of this fight.
Oh man. Well, honestly, I thought Izzy was actually looking really good. He almost looked like he was going to do like a shutout on this fight, and then all of a sudden, second round turned around. He had him hurt, which I kind of seen happening like around the second or the third, with the way he was fighting, and especially in the first round. But as soon as he had him hurt, he really wanted to finish. And I don't know if that's just because he was hungry to get a win so bad, which is kind of different than the way he normally fights. But then he got in the pocket with Joe and stopped using his angles, which then he started getting touched a lot. And obviously, you can't play around with Joe there. And then also not a great fight for Joe either. I'm going to be honest. I thought that he probably fought one of his more like worse fights, honestly. Just because it didn't look like he had that ferociousness that he normally has in most of his fights. And obviously we found out later that he has, a lot going on in his life and he did some dumb stuff that could have been a bad situation. But I don't know. I think it was kind of bad on both ends if we're talking about in technique and what they've shown. But I guess good win on Joe, but definitely not his best win, even technique wise. He just looked like he wasn't mentally, 100% there.
Yeah, and I tagged you in that clip of them, and I even said, a little too much respect, before the fight, them kind of hugging at each other almost seemed like they needed a room. It was just, I get it. You know what I mean? I get, think you're going through stuff, but this is the fight game, man. And I didn't like to see that. But what I did like to see at this, I don't know if you watched the whole fight, at the very beginning of the fight, Pyfer goes to stick his hand out to do a little glove touch, and Izzy's like, nah, we're fighting now. You know what I mean? So I thought I like to see that.
No,
but
100%.
I'm right there with you, and that's exactly what I said in my breakdown. Is just I just feel that I would have liked to see Joe Pyfer have to figure it out a little bit. I would have loved to have seen that fight go into the third or fourth round and see Joe Pyfer have to overcome something. Not Izzy just kind of just hand it to not really hand it to him, but just make it an easier fight, make it his style of fight. We like you're a coach, I'm a coach. You want to fight your fight. You want to play your game, not your opponent's.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Right. And Izzy played right into what Joe Pyfer does well, and that's slug heavy shots in the pocket. And that's something have we ever seen Izzy do that? I mean, I was baffled watching that. I don't know what got into him. I don't know if it was the roar of the crowd. I don't know, but I mean, you look at 58 significant strikes to 50. I mean, he was outstriking him. He was looking great in the first round, and until he got taken down toward the first round, toward the end of the first round. There was about 10, 15 seconds left in the round, so Pyfer wasn't able to get much damage off. But the start of the second round, same thing. He was looking good, moving well. And thank you for the two people in the room here. Appreciate you guys. Round three team, we're rolling. Chase Keebler and Rayfield Garrett here. We are going over UFC Seattle. Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. We're just going to be on this for maybe another minute or so, and then we're going to move on. But, no, that's what I saw, Chase, is just he didn't fight his fight. Izzy did not fight his fight. And I don't know. He's been in – I was listening to some of my other cappers, and he's been in over, goodness, I think 110 combat fights between kickboxing and MMA. It's just – I'm never calling for anyone's retirement or nothing, but 4 straight losses.
Yep.
Right. You were ranked number 4. You just lost to number 14 guy. Chase, what does Izzy do from here? Where does he go?
Personally, I thought he was going to retire last night. So that speech he gave at the end, it kind of surprised me. But he's going to end up being like, and I hate to say it like this, he's going to end up being like Anderson Silva, where they're like, hey, you're done. We're pulling the plug almost. Obviously, he's still pulling numbers just like Silva did. But then, like, you're just beating him, guys, because we've seen it with the DC stuff and Anderson Silva, and now we got it with Pyfer and Adesanya.
Right.
So it's like he shows those flashes of greatness, but at the end of the day, it's only helping propel these other guys. And I don't know how much they want to do that for him or how much he wants to do that himself. Um,
Right.
I mean, I get it. You're a fighter at the end of the day, but you got to know, like, what are we doing at this point? What's the goals? Like, because we
Right.
hear, I want to keep on fighting and do this. Why? What's your purpose? Do you think you can make it to the top anymore? Or is this something you're doing just because you can do this, not just something that you're trying to successfully do something in? I don't know. I think Joe, for another thing, is too now he's fighting the top of the top, right? How many more guys are you going to be like, oh, this is like the best guy ever, 185. This guy's like
Right.
the legend, this, that, and the other. Because that version of Joe ain't gonna like. It's not gonna be a good run.
I agree. I agree. I mean, let's move on from there, and we can talk a little
Yeah.
bit more about that fight off air. But let's move on. Great win for Joe Pyfer. I mean, honestly, he
Yeah.
beats a two-time middleweight champion in Israel Adesanya, one of the best middleweights of all time. Joe
Right.
Pyfer was saying he's the best middleweight of all time, and I mean,
Hmm.
he's got a strong argument. He does. He does.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber. Did you get a chance to watch this one, Chase?
Oh my! I watched this whole card. I watched the whole card.
Okay,
Yep. So
awesome,
we're good on that. Dude,
nice.
this fight was like not at all what I expected. If I'm being honest, and I kind of mentioned this in the last time we talked, and there's no disrespect to her, dude. Macy Barber, like, I hope she's okay. That not gonna look kind of gross, but like her attitude and the way she says certain things and the way she acts and stuff, like she's almost got like that Ronda Rousey like type of
Yes,
attitude and the way she
yes,
does
yes,
things.
yes.
Dude, when she got knocked out, it totally reminded me of the face that she made when or Ronda we're speaking of. It totally reminded me of the face she made when Holly knocked her out with that head kick. It was exactly the same almost. Like
Yeah,
in my head, I'm like, dude, this is almost the same person, like in just different time space. Now,
right.
Alexa Grasso, why are you trying to box with her? Where's your kicks? Where's your setups to your takedowns? And I know she's still good on the ground, Alexa Grasso, but it's like you're supposed to be so much better, like everywhere. You could have set up all your chain attacks to the takedowns like you're good at. And when she was kicking, I mean, she only threw one kick, but it's like, where is these like shots at? Why were you trying to do her thing that she's good at? I mean, she's always working with Lima or Lopez, which is either her man or her husband or something like that. I know they train together still, but like, come on,
Yeah,
man. You don't think she's working that all the time and trying to
right.
like make that even more successful? I don't know. I think it was just a bad game plan, or maybe the moment got her because of the co-main event and stuff. But it just kind of sucks to see. And I didn't know they fought previously either. I guess that was a
Yeah.
big thing that we talked about a lot.
I did not either until I started researching this card a little bit more.
Yeah,
And I agree with you, Chase. It. I don't know what Macy. I don't think she would had the game plan to just stand the whole time.
yeah,
This fight lasted 2 minutes. A little,
maybe.
2.5 minutes. So I don't think that was her game plan for the full 3 rounds. But I
Okay,
feel she should have gotten to the takedowns quicker.
yeah,
And I feel just kind of like the last fight, she played right into Grasso's hands. Grasso's a
yeah,
great counter striker, which she knew that because she fought her before. So
right,
why in the world are you gonna stand in front of a girl who you felt those counter strikes before? So I didn't
yeah,
understand the game plan from Macy at all. But I'll tell you what, as you know, I was on Grasso
mhm,
all week. I
yep,
was in um, every comment section I could, posting my stuff and just letting everyone know, hey, you don't go against a former champion
yeah, yeah,
who's only been fighting in the top five, who fought Valentina Shevchenko 3 times in a row. Okay,
mhm,
you don't bet against someone like that. Not. And no disrespect to Macy, but she's tenacious. I've been calling her a pit bull in the most
yeah,
respectful way possible. Okay, just
mhm.
please understand that she's a little pit bull and she gets after it. But man, no technique behind it. And she looked a
No,
little bit better. She looked a little
right,
bit better last night. She looked like she's been working on the stand up. But man, I mean, Grasso's just miles ahead. You know what I mean? It's not going to take
yeah,
however long, because like we talked about in the last live, 2 fights since March of 2024
right, yeah.
for Macy Barber, and just that activity, it showed. It showed, and you're trying to fight one of the best in the world. So where do you think Macy goes from here, and where do you think Grasso goes from here, Chase?
Man, I don't know. There's some fights they could make with her just to build up some other people, but I don't want her to be that building block, and I don't think the UFC does either. Because obviously they like how much love she gets from everybody else. And Grasso, they wouldn't mind pushing again just because, and this, for me it has nothing to do with it, but the UFC obviously sees dollar signs. They love Mexican. They want to have a Mexican champion.
Yeah.
Obviously, the only time they did a
Yes.
custom belt for anybody was the Mexican champions when they had it for the 45 pounder. What's his name? Crud. I can't find his name. Really good Taekwondo guy beat up BJ Penn. Anyways,
Oh, Yair.
Yair, they had that cool Mexican
Yes.
belt for him, and that was when him and I think Grasso were like champs at the same time, or like in
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Right around. Yes, yeah. You're pretty close if you're not completely right.
Yeah, so it's like they did all those cool things and everything else, but you've never seen anything like that for any of the other champions and for any of these guys that have been doing it for such a long time. So I know that they want a champion, number one, because they can make that money market there, just like they're trying to do with all the Chinese fighters as well. So I think for the
Yep.
UFC, this is a great win for them personally. As a fan, I kind of want to see Macy Barber do something. But with the way your attitude has been and everything else, I don't know. Are we seeing another Ronda Rousey type to come back out? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And just to kind of piggyback on, and it's no disrespect to like, but yeah, the UFC they love their Mexican fighters. I think
Yeah.
that's they don't they don't really hide it. When they go and
Mhm.
do cards in Mexico, I mean, they really feature like almost every single fight on cards that are in Mexico have a Mexican fighter in the card, which is
Right.
good. But you don't really see that when they go to other parts of the world. They don't have enough. They don't have enough of the fighters. So um,
Yeah.
and just want to touch on one thing, and then we'll move right on because
Okay.
I don't want to take too much time on this fight. It was the fight. We're taking longer talking about it than the fight lasted.
Exactly.
But they had Brandon Moreno there who just got
Yeah.
battered by Kavanaugh, which he looked great, by the way. Awesome,
Yeah.
great recoverability. I don't know if the guy had makeup on or what, but I mean, for how his face looked at the end of that fight versus Kavanaugh and how he looked when they were panning to him last night. But that just goes to show a guy who lost, but they're still, you know what I mean? Like they are still trying to go off that, use that market. So
Hmm.
that's just the UFC's MO. Let's move on here, Chase. Let's go on to the
Okay.
featured bout. A double retirement fight, Michael
Yeah.
Chiesa versus Nico Price. So
Right.
tell me how you felt about this fight, Chase.
Well, it was nice to see Chiesa win. Honestly, I didn't like him so much when he was like a contender and he was like trying to do like the crap talking, like how Connor did. It never seemed like his personality, especially when I was watching him like the Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that. Because that season was probably one of the better seasons. I think that was one where Dominic Cruz was coaching against Uriah Faber, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not
Um,
100% on that one, but I mean, like I said, if you're not 100% accurate, you're close.
yeah, it was I remember liking him in the show, but when he got to the actual UFC itself, I remember not liking his character he was trying to become. And then later he started to mellow out a bit more, especially after losing to Kevin Lee. And then I started to have like, oh, he's kind of, starting to wear on me and stuff. And I actually liked his personality, who was trying to act like himself now instead of like this, big brash person, which I get you have to do, right,
Right,
to sell
right.
some fights certain times. But like, it was nice to see him get that win. I will say though, as a person who has friends of Nico, and I've heard a lot about him, and as a person, everything else, that really kind of blew, man. It really sucked the way the UFC kind of did him dirty. They didn't even let him talk at the end. I know that they were trying
I
to like
agree a
his show.
thousand percent, man.
It was sad, bro, because they kept panning over. You know what they should have never panned over him again when he was standing in the corner and just had his gloves in his hand and stuff. That was kind of wrong, man. He's had over 20 fights in the UFC, win or loss, and I just kind of felt more bad than anything about it. And they both knew that they were both retiring. So I mean, I don't know. It just kind of sucked.
Yeah, no, it was not. It I didn't like that. I'm not going to just repeat what you just said, but because I talked about it a little bit on my breakdown show. It's just, yeah, you don't do a fighter like that. A fighter like Nico, who he had a decade in the
Yeah.
UFC as well.
Hmm.
And he deserved to get some kind of recognition. And obviously, Kiesa's the hometown guy,
Right.
and they had that package locked and loaded for him. Goodness.
Hmm.
Second, Chase. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm listening.
You with me still, Chase?
Yeah, yeah, we're good, bro.
Okay. Sorry. Well, I'm so sorry, group. I'm sorry, chat. So sorry. Are you with me still, Chase?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Um. So I didn't like that look on the UFC's part. I I don't like stuff that just seems so scripted and just ready to go and just I don't like stuff like that. So that's just
Right.
me. Congratulations to Michael Chiesa getting very emotional win for him. He was
Yeah.
with his wife and his family there, and that's awesome. He had that tragedy during the Ultimate Fighter, so it was great to see him go out on a high note. So congratulations to Michael Chiesa.
Mhm.
Let's move on now. We've got Julian Juicy J Arosa versus Larion Douglas.
Woo,
This fight,
man,
I'm going to start on this one, Chase. I'm sorry, buddy.
go to town. Take
Um,
it.
Larion Douglas, this guy, I can't wait to watch him fight again, and I can't wait to see who they match him up with. I hope they give him someone who has just as much power and just like tenacity as he does, because
Mhm.
this guy, I mean, every strike, I love. He kind of reminds me, honestly, correct me if I'm wrong. He reminds me of Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the way he just, I mean, everything he throws is all power. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
I, Juicy J, he tried, he hung in there tight. He was saying the right things in the interviews. I have 18 UFC fights and he has none, and yada yada yada. That's all fine and dandy, man. This is fighting. Once you get in that cage and close the door, none of that stuff matters. Experience don't matter. It's
Mhm.
what happens between you and that other person, not all those
Right.
other people you fought before. So, yeah, awesome win for Larion Douglas. UFC debut. I mean, I can't wait to see where he goes from here. So, what stood out most to you in that fight, Chase?
Honestly, how much control he took away from Erosa. Erosa usually is pretty good at getting on his wheels and then fighting on the outside. But Douglas, man, he just kept on like touching him on the inside. Or anytime he would try to commit to anything, he was always getting
Yeah,
punished for it, which was kind of entertaining.
yeah,
I mean, I'm a big fan of Erosa. Like same thing, watching the Ultimate Fighter. And I like the fighter he was, but as the years went on, man, he just got touched more and more. And then he went on a fight winning streak for a minute, and then they kind of send him to the Wolves again to kind of get knocked down a few pegs. It's kind of a roller coaster with him, and it sucks because he is a pretty good fighter, but they keep on giving him
yeah,
killers. Like they're just trying to build
yeah,
up his look and his size and stuff, especially getting knocked out by these guys. It I don't know. It's like one of those weird ones, especially with him. It's like he could be really good and he could have been really good, but they just keep on giving him killers. He's gonna be one of those guys
yeah,
that whenever his contract's up, he's gonna have to leave and go to like a PFL, unfortunately, or a I wouldn't even say one. One's got too many crazy strikers. He would have to go to like a PFL or a lower organization to try and make a move.
yeah. I mean, he can go over to one if he wants to fight one time a year. I mean, that's
Yeah,
all he's gonna get over there. I mean, that's just. I mean, they are. It's an awesome promotion. I'm not trying to bash them or nothing, but yeah, they don't. It's just you never know when their fights are, and it's it's over. It's the time difference, and their fights start at like 6 in the morning when they do have their cards. So yeah, one is
right.
just not promotion, but neither here nor there. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yusari Bulgari. I was on Mansour Abdul Malik, and I couldn't have been more wrong about this fight. So you go ahead and
Yeah.
lead off on this one, Chase.
I mean, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not a big fan of Bulgari, honestly. Like, or Bulgari, whatever you say it. I don't care. But anyways,
Yeah, that's it, Bulgari.
like, bro, like I get it. You're Alex Pereira's training partner, and he's really trying to do his style. But the problem
Keep
with
going,
him,
Chase.
and they try to be like, "Oh man, he's the next Alex. He's the next Alex. He trains with Alex." They were talking about Alex, this, that, and the other. That's fine. You can fight like someone. You can have their style. You're a big guy. You're really tall. You got a good frame. You don't have that power, bro, to be fighting like that. He fought Abdul, which Abdul I don't know if it was the lights or whatever, but like he had a really hard time getting off on anything, which really surprised me. It did not look good at all. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to either guy, but it's just the truth. It just looked like Bulgari just had his way with him, and it looked like Abdul, like I don't know, it just didn't look like he was using any of that D1 wrestling. And yeah, he took him down the one time and he got right back up, or he took him down a few times and he got right back up. But obviously, it just looked like they were just two different fights completely. And I don't
Yeah.
know how Bulgari is going to do when he gets an actual guy at 85. Like cool, you beat a guy that was undefeated and everything else, but it's like I don't know. It was really weird. It looked like it was two different like divisions. Like we talked about that it looked like a guy that was in the regional scene and a guy that was in the UFC for a
Yeah.
little. I
No,
don't
I
know.
agree. Abdul just he just didn't commit fully to anything he was doing.
Mhm.
and you can see that, 3 for what, 6.
Yeah,
You're supposed to, like you said, I didn't even know like his wrestling pedigree until the commentary was speaking about it.
same.
But
Yeah,
man, you talk, dude, you. I was struck by like 5 times,
yeah,
not double, not triple. I mean, you're talking 16 significant
yeah,
strikes to 94.
yeah.
Like that is regional and pro. Like that's insane. That's insane to look at. And then you got finished. Almost 4 minutes into the. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know where Abdul goes from here. Do you?
Uh, I mean, they could use him as a feeder, unfortunately. Hopefully, he just had an off night because I think he's a really good fighter and he's had some really good fights as well. I hope they don't try to feed him to like some killers just because of his record because we see that happen a lot. Um, but hopefully he goes on a streak and he starts doing his thing because he actually is pretty good. Now, I'm actually um more on Abdul, like making a turnaround and actually doing like really good with his career over Bulgari. I'm gonna be honest, skills wise and everything
Really?
else. Like, I think that Abdul has a better chance of making it higher than Bulgari, surprisingly enough. And I know that sounds super crazy, but I think Abdul just had a really bad night. He looked like super stiff. He looked very, very nervous or slow
Yeah.
during the fight. And I've seen his other stuff in his highlights, and I'm like, I'm just not so sure about this fight. I don't know. There might have been something up or off, but maybe I'm biased. I don't know, and I don't know where the bias would be at. But I just think Bulgari is trying to be that type of guy like Alex, but he doesn't have that pop or that big snap, and I think that's not his style. Even when you watch him in like a lot of the kickboxing stuff, that's just not how he
Yeah.
fights. So it's a little weird, but I guess we'll see where it goes.
All right. Next fight. I mean, yeah, awesome win for him. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm with you on that. I would like to see Abdul turn it around. I don't know really where he goes. He just took so much damage, Chase. I don't want to see. I really would not like. I don't want to see him for the rest of the year.
yeah,
Taking
yeah.
100 significant strikes, and they were, which is crazy because I don't even know if he like bust him open at all. He didn't like cut him or anything, which is crazy. Take all those strikes and not. I don't think he was bleeding at the
He
end of the
he
fight.
did. He did cut him with
Oh,
an
did he?
elbow. It's a third round. He
Okay.
cut him with an elbow. I think it was over the top, the left side.
So yeah, I mean, all the way to the third round. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
that,
took
that,
him to
that
the
guy's
third.
he's tough as nails.
Oh
All right,
yeah.
let's move on. So we got Terrence T-Rex McKinney. This was
Mhm.
one of 4. Round 3 was 3 for 4 on most confident picks this week. So this
Okay.
was one of them that hit.
Yep.
What did you see here, Chase? Not
It was
much, but I mean,
hilarious.
24 seconds.
Uh,
What'd you see in the 24 seconds?
so I just got done working out. Most of these fights, like before this one, I was watching while working out at the gym, which was great because then it kept me distracted the whole time and not dying. But I had the stream was not working coming back home, so I'm like, crap. And then I seen that the next fight, the Bulgari, just started, so I'm like, crap, I got to go back. So I went back, I rewinded all the way to it, and then immediately did the fight announcement, everything else. I'm like, awesome, I can watch this back, and then I'll turn it back to going to the Bulgari fight, which is
Okay.
great. I turned it on right when they both started. As soon as I turn it on, immediately dink, head kick, and then freaking just hits him like a million times. And he's like, oh, all right, I guess I didn't miss anything.
Right.
That's cool. So I had a chance to watch that and get started right when the fight started in the next one. So thank you, Terrence, for helping me watch the fight and not get that messed up. But also, what the heck was that from Nelson? Like, was he that badly hurt or what? Because he was defending himself here still, but I didn't see any like call to action on the defense or anything else either. And then I seen parts of it, and you'll have to get me on this because I didn't see it because like I said, I had to skip back and go back to live. Did they
Yeah.
get an altercation after the fight too a little bit?
That I didn't see. I don't I
Okay.
don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I feel
Okay.
like I would have seen a viral clip by now.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
That
but
might be
I
wrong because,
don't.
like I said, I was skipping back and it was still like in a freeze frame, and it looked like
No,
the
yeah, I
Canadian
don't.
like
That's
after
now
he was
I'm gonna.
taking
I want
aim.
to go back now and double check. If they did, it must have been very brief and not anything too serious.
Okay.
Um, but no, yeah, I mean, so just to walk everyone through it here. Thank you for who's been sticking around. We've had at least one person on this whole time, so we got one person rocking with us this whole time.
Awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate you. We've had up to 3 or 4 people kind of floating in and out, so thank you all who's rocking with us for this is week 2 of round 3 dinner. We're gonna be here every single Sunday. So unless Chase is fighting or he's kind of recovering from a fight or getting ready for a fight, which I know he actually has a fight Was it April 25th, Chase?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, we'll talk about that toward the end. Okay, so with Terrence McKinney, he throws a left high kick. Kyle Nelson gets his guard up, right?
Yeah.
He gets the guard up, and it doesn't matter. It still had so much impact. It knocked Nelson right off his feet, and McKinney followed up with about, I don't know, 10 to 15 hammer fists.
Yeah.
And Nelson just was in the fetal position, and that was all she wrote. So another first round finish for Terrence McKinney, who's, as we all know, an up and down fighter. I want to say he lost to Chris Duncan in his last fight, who was the main event in the card that we're going to be previewing in the next 10 minutes or so.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I would like to see McKinney kind of chain something together, maybe go into a second round. That'd be cool to see. But what I didn't like to see, though, Chase, is that he's had 8 first-round finishes in the UFC.
Yeah.
0 bonus checks.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Yes, he has not gotten a bonus. So that's why I was kind of, protesting in my breakdown. Just let's get T-Rex a bonus check for his neck. I mean, come on, man. What, you got to get 10? 2 more? So,
geez, that's kind of rough, man. I'd hate to be him.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. So, your boy Baha versus Tafik Musayev. So, tell me what you saw here, buddy.
Bro, he got cheated, bro. Hey, 1 second. Let me take my dog out. Hey, go take that out.
No,
bro.
yeah, for sure.
Come on.
So I'll go on this one a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Bahamondes he didn't really get a fair shake in this. He had Tafik Musayev hurt extremely bad, and I want to say the second round. And Musayev blatantly, like a robber trying to get away from the cops, climbing the fence, like both hands in the fence.
That's exactly what I was going to say, yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I've never seen such a blatant fence grab not get called. So that's unfortunate for Bahamondes. And then I want to say I thought it was an elbow chase.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, I guess it was a headbutt that caused that cut. If you go back and watch any replay from this fight forward, you will see all the blood, and it was all Bahamondes' blood on the canvas. So tell me what you saw through all that chase.
Very good ground and pound, obviously, by Musayev or whatever. But man, I don't know why he was trying to fight off the ground so much. Because they were kind of even when it came to the grappling exchanges, especially off his back. I would have liked to see him, especially because he was getting his hips in, but he kept on trying to go for this triangle armbar setup. But every time he tried to hook underneath the leg, and he kept on trying to go for that armbar by hooking underneath the leg. And I understand that if you're trying to pull them in close, which is a great idea.
Right.
And if anybody's wondering, I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so just giving my 2 cents, which is far and few between because they're in the UFC. But when you're hooking underneath that leg and you're trying to go for that armbar, a lot of the times you're gonna get your leg, especially when they're going knees down, you're gonna get your arm caught underneath that knee, just like it happened in the fight. So when you end up in that position, you have to roll through and either turtle and give up on the armbar completely. And what you'll do is when you're a turtle, instead of being his body's here, your body's here, and for people to understand jiu-jitsu, you kind of get it. If not, it's okay. You'll end up out, and you can use that to stand up a lot of times. But if you don't, and you keep on trying to attack that armbar, especially in guard and MMA, what's going to happen is you're going to keep on getting hit hammer fists or straight punches, which was lucky for him that he wasn't going for a lot of hammer fists, because if he was, I think he could have finished him, especially when he has arm trapped. Or there's an old school move called the gotcha, and basically when his arm's extended like this, if you drop your forehead and pull up, you got a really easy and sneaky straight armbar that you can finish as well. I like setting that up a lot of times when people are being super aggressive with that armbar series. But I don't know, man. I think that's the most disappointing part. The fouls are the fouls. I think he could probably contest this, especially with the blatant headbutt and the cage.
Yeah.
Depending on it being Canada, they might be lenient and give it to him. But I know if he was in Vegas, he'd have probably got a better chance of getting it reversed.
Yeah, unfortunate for Baha. Solid win for Musayev. He did the damage. He did on top. It's crazy. 93 total strikes. They only credited Musayev for 34 of them significant.
Right.
That's crazy. I don't agree with that. See, and that's, you know what, and not to get off track here, Chase, but this is what just irritates me because I watch these fights,
Yeah.
closely, and I watch tape, and these strike counts are so arbitrary sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it depends on who's counting these strikes, man. Because
Hmm.
some of these strike numbers just I'm like I don't see it, man. Like they'll throw it up and say, "Oh, he's at 42 significant strikes,"
Right.
and there's a minute left in the round still. I'm like, no, there's no way. So I think I skipped over a fight here. Make sure. Yeah, I did. Chase Hooper. This was our only.
Yeah.
This
This
was
is.
our only most confident pick that missed for round 3 this
Yeah.
week. So talk to me, Chase. What'd you see on your boy Chase?
Oh goodness. I I mean, candid opinion. Younger guy. He's had big downs, man. He has great ups, but his downs are like he's definitely a roller coaster. Like I
Yes.
don't say that a lot about fighters, but he was top of mountain and then drops down heavy. That being said, man, he can't fight 55. I'm nobody to tell him this or whatever else. I'm a guy who doesn't cut weight because when I cut weight, my brain just doesn't you can't handle it and everything else. Him fighting at 55, where he's a little bit more fuller, a little bit bigger, he can't handle those shots, bro. Period. Like I know it was probably like a really sneaky elbow where he got caught here and then up into it, but it didn't look like there was a lot of pop on it. That being said, Gibson might be that powerful, and I just don't know. Um, but like I think, unfortunately, and I know he's not going to like to hear this, especially from some guy that's not there yet. But he needs to cut to 45, bro. Like I get it. You had so much success at 45. You need to go back to it because ever since he's went to 55 is when he's been getting like starched, bro. And that's just my opinion. Especially with his takedowns, right? He's not a great wrestler. He's got amazing jujitsu. His stand-up's very
Right.
like conventional, which I heard a lot of the commentators say. They say conventional, but like he throws a lot of spinning stuff to set up these takedowns and all these crazy stuff. So I don't know how conventional they're thinking. But that being said, he's not going to hit a lot of these takedowns on these 55ers. They're just too big for him. And I don't think he's got that strength like that yet as a 55er. So for him to get these takedowns that he wants and like a lot of those long-handed single legs and then going to the body lock or anything else, he's going to have to be 45 or else he's going to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah. I agree. Awesome win for Lance Gibson. I mean, whoever was on him as an underdog, I mean, that's awesome. He was like a plus 300, so
Mm.
it's great. Yeah, good win for Gibson. I mean, he was. There wasn't a lot of people on him this week. I mean, a lot of doubters. So I mean, he shut a lot of people up. It's awesome. I did
Yeah.
not watch that fight, so thanks Chase for that. Thanks for that insight. Same with this
Yeah.
fight. I did not watch this fight, but I do know this was a fight where Marcin Tybura was
Mhm.
announced the winner by mistake
Yeah.
at the end. So tell me how this fight played out, Chase.
All right, awesome. This was actually a really good one. This had me like taking breaks in my workout. I know a lot of people probably thought this fight was boring. I did know who Tyrell Fortune is. I know I mentioned it last time that I was not sure who he was off of name alone. I have watched him fight in Bellator. He's actually a really good fighter in Bellator, and
Okay.
some of you guys might have seen clips of it when they do highlights and stuff like that. He used to fight in really short purple Hayabusa shorts for my people that do pay attention to MMA as much as we do, right? Great fighter, man. I didn't know he got called up on 2 weeks' notice either, which is another cool thing
Yeah,
to
I
see.
didn't know that. I did not know that as well. I was on him this week, but I did not know he took it on that short of notice. I mean, that's a tall task, but keep going.
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially because like Tybora was getting ready for Walter Walker, right? So he was on his P's and Q's for takedowns. And then you got Fortune, who's a very big takedown guy and a really big heavyweight. So for him to do that cut like that drastic, I think that also zapped him. I am so happy Fortune got the win. Number one, I think he's going to be the new exciting guy coming into the heavyweight division, especially with his partner being or his training partner being Costa. And
Okay.
he's a part of a very good team right now. But dude, I had a heart attack when I first seen that Tabora got the win. I was like, what are we watching? But obviously it happened
Yeah.
earlier in the fight, which we're going to talk about too with Ricky Simone and everything else. Um,
Right.
but I was like, brother, what? And then they called him back. I almost got a smile on my face. I'm like, all right, cool. We got this right. Hopefully they're going to call it back or at least give it a draw. But I thought actually Fortune did win the first round, and I gave him the third round. I did not give him the second. I thought Tabora actually smoked him a bit in the second round, just because how tired Fortune looked, and he couldn't get anything going. He got hit a lot, especially in the second round. But the third round, with the control and the few shots he was hitting and everything else, I did give him the third. First round was a wash. He smoked him in the first round. But that's kind of the way I seen it, and thankfully, two of the judges seen it the same way as well. But I don't know. I thought it was a weird call at first, but they definitely got it right towards the end.
Good. Awesome. Yeah, Fortune. I don't know. Was that his UFC debut?
Yes, it was actually. Yep. I think
Awesome.
the only reason I only think the reason why I got this fight as well, and not to cut you off, is because they needed somebody short notice. Because you know how they are about picking up heavyweights from other organizations a lot of times, especially if they beat like their guys. But the best heavyweights right now, if anybody wants to go look it up, are from the other organizations, unfortunately. Now, I think Tom's great, and I think a lot of these heavyweights that they do have are great. But the best heavyweights right now, and the ones that could make some noise and shake up and change the UFC, are in these other organizations. So I am happy they picked up Fortune. I think he was fighting for LFA before this. So he was trying to shoot down the ranks instead of signing with the PFL because he wanted to be in the UFC. So good for him to get the call up by doing his work in these regional scenes after fighting in such high level, being Bellator and other organizations.
It's awesome. All right, let's move on. We got Casey O'Neill versus Gabriel Fernandez. I was on Gabriel Fernandez. I didn't really believe in Casey O'Neill, and I mean, she got the knockout here apparently in the first round. So how did it go down, man?
So basically, O'Neal was kind of keeping the range, touching her a lot with like these kicks to set up her hands. You could tell she was really confident in long jabs and crosses, which was actually nice to see. I'm not familiar with either one of these girls. Obviously, like I said before, I'm not super keen on the girl fights, even though the girl fights this week shut me up. They were great finishes. Watching O'Neal though, she had so much control. You could tell like she was very confident in her hands going into this fight, and she had really good belief. Was Bang Tai and that camp that she's a part of, they really got her to believe in her hands, because at one point she really had a rock with the overhand on the lead side, which you don't see a lot because Fernandez, she is a southpaw, and she kept on trying to shoot that long jab to the hook. Well, when she stepped straight in this time, all you seen was O'Neal just step off, hit that overhand, which you don't see a lot off of the lead side. And once she hit that, she immediately came with the two and just started machine gun walking her down. Now, the big thing is with that, a lot of times you can get caught, but she had so much belief in staying on the outside with her jabs and crosses that she ended up finishing the fight. It was like a jab, hook, cross, and that's all she kept on throwing, jab, hook, cross, when she had her against the cage. It was a good finish for her. You could see her making some moves, especially at flyweight. Honestly, you could probably run her versus Macy Barber if they were trying to feed this O'Neal girl. I could see them doing that fight against Barber, actually, with her coming off of a win, and how she's good on the mic too, because she had the crowd going. You might see that fight coming up next, surprisingly, if they let Barber come back. I know she got really hurt, so we'll see.
Didn't she got cut after the Blanchfield debacle when she pulled out last year, didn't she?
Yeah, I thought so.
And then it was interesting. She got cut. Apparently they brought her back sometime between then and her December fight. So I mean, she got cut for less than a year. But just a quick question about Barber, since you wanted, do you think that Barber fights again this year?
If they do, it'll be in December. If I had a feeling with how their camp is.
Okay, let's move on. I mean, awesome win for what do they call her? KGB or something? I forget her nickname.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Okay, so Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. The big play this week was Navajo Sterling by decision. No one was believing in this guy's finishing power. Apparently he's got it. So like I said, I was working for the prelim, so Chase kind of is running point on the prelim card here for these next couple fights. So tell me what you saw, Chase.
So on this one, same point as you. I did know Navajo Sterling, for my people that were, kind of confused, and I was like, I'm not exactly sure. He is the most beautiful man that is a part of city kickboxing, so you cannot not know this man. This dude should be a model. He should not be fighting, but he decided to fight, which is great for him, I guess. But I didn't have him as a finisher. I mean, I know before the UFC he was a big finisher. And there is some huge holes in his game, especially at 205 when he's going to fight like these big heavy hitters, which you're going to have at 205 and at heavyweight. Every time he enters into the pocket, he has that chin so high and his shoulders are so low. So it's a big target. He did get hit a lot by Lopez. The only problem was Lopez, every time he would go to throw, and he did hit him quite a bit, and actually with some big shots that did wobble him so, but it was always off the back foot when he was pulling backwards. There was no intent to come forward on any of his shots. There was no big shots. That being said, though, Sterling looking good, wearing him out, was the bigger guy, you could tell in the fight, not only in height, but also in that mass that he had against him. And he wore him down a little bit, too. His striking looks pretty good. I think he's got some good knees that he can hit between there, and his setups are good. But the problem is when he crashes in, he always has that chin wide up, and he's always throwing from here, and his chest is in. You got such long arms. You got a good reach. You're very tall. I don't think you need to crash so much with your chin up and yourself in a high posturing position to throw.
You're talking about Sterling? You're talking about Sterling here?
Yes, that's my fault. Yeah, I'm talking about Sterling. Like, I think that he's going to have a lot more trouble if he does actually go against somebody better. He did call up Kutalava, which is a great fight for him. He's going to be way bigger than that guy. He's going to have a good time on the outside. But if he crashes like he did in the pocket against Kutalava, he's going to get dropped.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now.
I don't know about that fight for him. I don't know. Awesome win for Sterling. What do we got? 2 more fights. Let's get through these couple more fights here really quickly. We're right at 40 minutes. Thank you for everyone who's been rocking with us. If you're here, you can comment, like. If you've never been here before, just subscribe. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. This is the Round 3 team. We're going to be doing this every Sunday, minimum, unless Chase or I have other obligations. Yep. I should be here at least every Sunday. Not too sure about Chase. He's been rocking, but he's got a busy fighter life. So especially with his fight coming up soon. So Ricky Simón, Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez was my 3, just to kind of let everyone know here, my 3 favorite underdogs, which is not an officially tracked section that I'm going to be doing for my show. Just kind of for fun when I'm seeing, kind of seeing things that I like and seeing some close underdogs. So there was Yanez was a plus 122 this week. Loved it. Macy Barber was a plus 155. Loved it. And Joe Pyfer, even though I picked against him, I still liked him. Once the odds flipped there, I think he was right around 125, 130. So all of those hit. I'm going to take this draw as still hit. I even counted this draw as a win. That's just what I'm doing. So what did you see in this fight, Chase?
This one was awesome. I was actually really happy for it. Both guys, man, they really showed out. Now, could it have been a draw? Could it have been like a win for either one? Okay. Because the way I kind of had it, I had Ricky winning, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, what are you smoking? The way he controlled that first round with the takedown and everything else, he beat him up pretty bad. He had really good control, just hitting from the top position. His ground and pound looked amazing in this fight, Ricky. I think it was some of the best ground and pound that he's ever had. Even in the second round when he had like that great control of these double legs, it looked awesome. Giannis still on the outside, man, a killer. And it ended up in the third round, basically one of the judges that was a boxing judge, which is crazy. They gave him a 10-8 round, which I don't see how at all. That's like when you're beating somebody half to death. But they gave him like a boxing style, like, if you get dropped.
They gave Yanez the 10-8?
Yeah, and like one of the judges gave him a 10-8 in the third round.
Not to cut you, I was listening along to MMA experts on that one. That's AJ from MMA experts. That's usually my go-to for any kind of watch along. He does it every week. He's awesome at breaking down the fights and keeping up with the chat. I mean, the guy's a pro. But I mean, he was kind of making it seem like the fight could have been stopped. He was, so I mean, he gets pretty amped up and dramatic in his lives though. So was he kind of over exaggerating, or what? Talk to me here.
I mean, it was close. The only problem was it was the last 10 seconds, and everybody tries to do 10-second thing where they're all trying to stand and bang in the middle now. They're trying to be like Cobbert.
Everyone's Max Holloway now, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's trying to be a copycat, which is a shit's lame if you ask me. But
for real.
Like for real, man. Do your own thing. Figure out yourself out. I don't know. Wear some goggles like I did. Figure out your own shtick.
Yeah.
It was cool though. Like, I don't know why Ricky even did it. It was stupid. soon as they clash, the first thing he throws is think it was a cross. Yeah, he threw a cross. As he threw a cross, Giannis, just like he's been doing, slipped on the outside, overhand, drops him. As he dropped him, Simone did the right thing. He was trying to grab a single leg and trying to get in front. Giannis just banging off his head, like left and right, big hooks over the top of him. I think it being the clackers and it was close to it, that's why it didn't get called. And then Ricky did the right thing as soon as the fight was over, and I think it was really smart. And Dominic actually talked about this too. Dominic Cruz on commentary, he's like, "Oh, he's doing the right thing." As soon as he stands up, gives the guy a hug, acts like he just won the fight. Didn't act like he was wobbled, even though as soon as you stand up, he gets the stanky leg and he does this real quick. Immediately goes to Giannis, hugs him. Why does he hug him? And I think this is so smart from Ricky, and I'm going to steal this if it ever happens to me. Hugged him to hold himself up to get his brain better for a few seconds. So literally, when he walked away, his hands went up like he won the fight, and his legs were back together. I was like, "You are so smart, bro." I was like, "That is the smartest thing I've ever seen." And if he did it on accident, still subconsciously, the smartest move I've ever seen.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, if that's true, that's awesome. All right, we're pretty close here. I mean, I didn't have like a timing goal, but I think
Okay,
45 minutes for breaking down 14 fights isn't a bad pace.
sweet,
Or it's 13 fights. I'm sorry, 13 fights was on the card.
gotcha.
So Alexa Thayanara versus Bruno Brazil.
That one I have no idea.
Um,
That one I did not watch. I started right with Ricky because I was like, "Oh, this fight looks like it's about to be
okay,
boring."
I
Next
mean,
thing else
yeah,
I
that's
was-
fine. I listened along for the most part. Like I said, AJ does a good job of kind of painting a picture. So
Okay,
from what I got, it was just Sayonara. You can kind of see. I mean, how many takedowns? Like
yeah,
6 for 11 on takedowns, was just kind of all over with the pressure.
okay,
Bruno Brazil didn't have much power coming back in Sayonara's direction to give her any kind of doubt or worry. So it was kind of Sayonara just bouncing around doing what she wanted to do.
okay.
And yeah, Bruno Brazil. I think she's still a part of the Fighting Nerds. And I've said a few
Okay.
times, I think that's why she's even contracted still.
Gotcha. Okay.
No disrespect. I mean, but the Fighting Nerds are like the hot team. So
Yeah, honestly.
that is UFC Seattle breakdown. This is round 3 dinner. Hope you guys are
Mhm.
enjoying yourselves. I am going to grab a quick drink of water while Chase gets going on Money Moicano versus Chris Duncan. So go ahead, Chase.
All right,
Lead
awesome.
off.
I
I'll be
think
back in a hot second.
sweet. All right, so Chris Duncan, Money Moicano. I think that the big thing is Duncan's a hot up and comer. He's got really, really, really good technique, especially on the inside. Money Moicano likes to fight on the inside, which is not like the strong suit, especially with like we've seen him get dropped and got knocked out a few times. I think the first time was against I'm forgetting it. It's a viral knockout too. Rafael Fiziev. So you seen him get that big knockout there, and then like the few times he did drop guys, it's usually he's got like kind of like that Charles Oliveira style where he's trying to touch you on the inside, then maybe get the fight to the ground and start really throwing there. As for Duncan, dude's an up and comer. I think he's the next big thing, almost like a Dustin Poirier, especially at 55 right now. So we could see a really, really, really good finish from him, especially if they do fight in the pocket. Also, with that being said, very good grinder, stays heavy, heavy on guys, which tires them out, especially with the pressure. So we could just see him trying to make it like a slugfest and really getting Moicano tired. Obviously, anything can happen in the fight. If we see Moicano start throwing those longer jabs and staying on the outside, like we've seen him do here or there to his takedown, maybe, maybe we could get a big finish there. But as for right now, in my opinion, I think Duncan's like the next coming of Dustin Poirier, and I kind of got Duncan coming out and like winning this fight. But yeah,
All right. Sorry I missed that.
no,
I'll
you're
hear it
good.
back on the replay and we can talk off air, but not to make Chase repeat himself, so I'm just kind of going to give my take and then we'll move on. I'm not a fan of Renato Moicano. I think he's a flash in the pan kind of guy. I feel like he had a couple good performances. he got that title fight against Islam, which
Right.
I think that's how he got. He probably made some good money. He was available. He's taken a few short notice fights. He's the kind of guy who kind of broke out of his shell, right? There was one fight. I
Yep.
don't know what fight it was, Chase. You probably know. If you don't know the fight, you probably know exactly the interview I'm talking about, where he just screamed, "Moicano wants the money," and blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what got him in these main events. It was so awesome. But that's
Mhm.
kind of how I see it. He's just kind of talked his way into the spots that he's in. Great jiu-jitsu player. But I want to say his last fight, just off of memory, was against Benny Dariush. And I was on Benny Dariush in that fight. I was just shocked that he was an underdog, and just, the way people were writing him off.
Right.
Moicano's okay, but, Dariush was, former top 5. So I don't
Yeah.
think Moicano, even though he fought for the belt, I don't think he's ever going to sniff the top 5. I mean,
I-
he's number 10 right now. And then, it
yeah.
looks like Chris Duncan is unranked. So my early call on this one, I'm going Duncan. I got to do some. I'm going to do my tape, as I usually do. But my early call is Chris Duncan.
That's the same thing
Maybe
I
just
said,
off of
buddy.
bias, because I've heard Chris Duncan in plenty of interviews. I've seen him on lucrative MMA. I don't even know if it's MMA. Lucrative, his podcast. He does.
Mhm.
His is really big. I don't know if you ever seen him. Just he's really big on gambling and stuff, which isn't that's not my. I'm more on just breakdowns and numbers and kind of what you see
Right.
during the fight. But I've seen Chris Duncan. He's good friends with Lucrative, and he's gone on his show a few times. And
Okay.
I like the guy. He's really personable. He gets on and does stuff like you and I are doing. He's willing to. They
Yeah.
do a 2 and 3 hour long show too, and he's there the whole time talking to him. So
Oh wow.
I appreciate that. Whereas Moicano, he's got his little podcast, and he just seems like he's playing more of a character.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree.
That's just kind of how I feel. Chris Duncan's just a real guy, and Moicano's playing a character. So we'll see. We shall see. Because if it gets to the ground, I don't know. I mean, Moicano can end it in seconds. So,
Yeah. That's
do
kind
you
of the
have
same way I
anything
handled it
else
earlier
to
before
add
you
on
came
to
through.
that, or to say after I know I was gone for the few minutes you were going about it?
No. That's literally almost the exact same thing I said. I said if it goes to the ground, obviously Moicano, I think he's got the advantage. But I think on the feet and everything else, I said I think Duncan is the next coming of Dustin Poirier, and that's kind of what we're seeing with his career right now.
It's a good comparison. It's a really good comparison. All right, on to the co-main event. Oh man, tape study's gonna be rough this week. Vernon Jandiroba versus Tabitha Ricci. Um, I think
Ricci, I know
I think
her. I
every
think I've
guy
seen her fight.
enjoys watching Tabitha Ricci fight, but
Yeah, she's the one that like
um,
dances when she fights, basically like that salsa dancing style. Or is that somebody else?
say she's a
She
little
like shakes her hips all the time she moves.
I don't know. I think
That's somebody else. Okay,
that's
okay.
what is
I know
no. I
I know.
forget
I
her
watched the
name.
last fight where she ended up winning by armbar. But I don't know why everybody's always pushing for the homegirl that looks like she's got the worst cross eyes ever.
Yeah, Jandiroba is
She gets
she's
so many
solid.
like the UFC pushes her so bad. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah, she's number 3 right now. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean she's good, but like every time she's had like the big opportunities, she's always like kind of came up short. I mean, maybe that's why they
right,
put her against Ricci now.
right,
Especially because
right,
Ricci's really
right.
good at judo, and you could see her tie up with her and maybe finish her, and maybe that's what they want to see. I don't know exactly, and especially with the age, maybe they're trying to push her out now by giving her a girl that's on the come up, right? I don't know. This fight, personally, I think Ricci could get it done, especially if they tie up. I think that on the ground, Ricci's got a bigger advantage. If they do stay on the feet, though, I will give it to the cross-eyed queen. I think she will end up like smashing her, especially on the outside, working her way in. Um, but yeah, that's all I can see it as right now. I'm not super well known on both of them, but I do remember Ricci having really good Greco style grappling, and then obviously
See,
on the
that's where
outside,
I kind of I agree and disagree with you,
yeah,
because Jandiroba is insane on the ground. She's
really,
insane on the ground, and she has decent, like, kind of flailing power on the feet. But
yeah.
Ricci's much cleaner on the feet. Um, and but Ricci, she's a wrestler as well. Like, she is you are right on it. She is a grappler, but I don't know. I just don't think that's going to be her game plan in this fight.
Really?
Personally.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
Big
we'll see.
difference.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know. I have to watch tape on that one. I haven't watched. I
Okay.
haven't seen Ricci fight in a while. I know she fought on a card. Sorry, chat. She fought on a card recently,
Yeah.
but I can't remember who she fought against, and I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure she won. I can't remember who it was
Okay.
against. I was against her in the fight. That's kind of what I remember because I was picking against
He
her. She
lost
ended up
to
winning,
Mackenzie Dern, brother, and it was mostly on the ground and in the grappling. I knew. I just watched her fight. Yeah, she lost to Mackenzie Dern. Unanimous decision.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, when Aspinall fought
When
Gang,
did they fight?
they fought October 25th. It was on the Gon Aspinall card. They were the co-main event.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. All
And then
right.
she
Moving
beat,
on.
before that, she beat Xiaoyan.
Interesting. Abdul Rahman Yakayev versus Brenson Ribeiro. Do you know about either of these gentlemen?
I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't. I don't think so.
All right, I'll run point on this.
Okay.
I am 90% sure that this Abdul gentleman is from Dana White's Contender Series.
Okay.
He's that. I'm just looking at his face. I think that's him. I think, and he's if I'm remembering right, a striker who's just got a lot of swag when he fights. Like he's very, very confident. You know, he's smiling a lot and just just one of those fighters. And Ribeiro's the kind of guy who he went on a little tear where he was cashing as an underdog.
Yeah.
A lot, like as a big underdog. He was like a 3 or 4 fights. I want to say he won as an underdog, or 2 or 4. He was he's not a bad bet if you see him as a heavy underdog, but just power striker, not a lot of technique, just kind of comes throwing heavy winging shots. So we'll see. But this Abdul guy's young, so we'll see. And and Ribeiro's kind of been around for a minute, so it's kind of that young prospect against the veteran who they're not sure about type. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how this fight goes down. Let's go to the next fight. All right, Ethan Ewing versus Rafael Esteban.
So Ewing, everybody knows from his fight that he just had, like, came out the woodworks, and nobody had him winning that, and put beat down on boy. Like, that was awesome. That was one of the best fights I've seen on a short notice. Now Esteban, that's kind of crazy that they would put him against him, especially the great fight he had against. Let me look up the guy's name that he beat. Everybody knows him. I'm terrible at remembering names, guys. You're just gonna have to get used to it. It is what it is. He beat, Wellmaker. Okay, so he beat Wellmaker on like a week's notice or so, whatever it was. Yeah, it was a week's notice because he had a fight the week before and he won his championship.
Oh, okay. And that was toward the end of last year, right?
Yes, and it was in November because he fought in November. Because I just looked it up. He fought November the 7th, and then he fought the week after. Being the 14th.
Okay. I remember Wellmaker. Okay, and that was you're saying
I
that was
had money
Raphael?
on Wellmaker. Yeah, I had money on Wellmaker to win that one, especially on a week's notice. And Wellmaker was supposed to fight somebody else, and then they pulled out. So I remember he was getting ready.
And that was Raphael. I'm so sorry, Chase. That was Raphael, right? You're talking about?
No, that was Ewing.
Oh my goodness, yes, I do remember this fight now. Yeah,
Had the up and coming.
Beat the brakes off him. Yeah, and the thing I love about Wellmaker is he didn't make any excuses. He actually came out and had Ewing's back after, because people were sitting up there saying like, oh well, he wasn't not as good as everyone thought. And he's like, dude, he's like, Ewing's, that guy's, he's a good fighter. Like, don't sit up here and act like, he's got some can coming in here. Yes, I remember. Okay, interesting. But I don't.
Well, that's not
you
surprising.
do know about Raphael? Because I don't know anything about.
Yes, I do. Raphael fought. Shoot, let me go back and look at it because I had it before. He fought Johnson, Carlos Johnson, I think it is. Yeah, Carlos Johnson. He ended up beating him, and that's the only fight I've watched of his. He's had 2 more wins after that, but I remember him beating him. Like, oh, this guy's like legit, and he beat him pretty solidly when I watched it. That's why I'm kind of surprised they're putting Ewing against him, unless they don't want him to win. I mean, funny enough, we're not trying to say it like that, but like, it would seem like with how much hype he got after beating Wellmaker, which is their guy right
Yeah.
now, you'd see they were trying to push him. Like, why would you give him this killer right now? Especially because this guy
Well,
is
I
supposed to be
mean,
the next
shoot,
one.
where are we at on the card, Jace? Hold on, let me see. 1, 2. I mean, he's pretty high up on a fight night card. You know, he's
Yeah,
on the main. He's on the main card of a fight night
but he,
card. I mean, it's hey, they're giving him a rough matchup, but they're giving him a good placement at least.
yeah, fair. I don't
So
know. To me, it seems like they're trying to like send him out to water, deep water. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they could be doing it better, like how they did Wellmaker. Potentially, they didn't want Wellmaker to lose. That's why they give a guy in a week's notice, and he just had a fight. They were not expecting him
yeah,
to win at all. So it almost seems like they're trying to get one and kind of snub him, especially with this fight. Like this is not a favorable fight for him, at least stylistically. I hope he goes out there and he stomps boy, and that's just me being honest. USA all the way, but I don't know, man. I think that's a tough fight, especially definitely styles and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Let's
Yeah.
keep on moving, Chase. Let's keep on moving.
Tommy Machine Gun.
Tommy McMillan versus Manola Zashini.
Yep. I don't know Zashini, and I know they're not expecting him to win because they're trying to push Machine Gun because Machine Gun is the training partner of Sugar Sean O'Malley. And the reason why I know a little bit about him is because Austin Bashi, a guy from Michigan, was supposed to fight him
Yeah.
on the Contender Series, and then they fell through a couple times. So if you're in on the drama in Michigan MMA, they were talking a lot of crap to each other back and forth, and even their fans got into it to where it was like a 200 comment chat where they were going back and forth on it. So I paid attention to it. If you guys haven't, go watch his fight on the Contender Series. He almost got decapitated by a guillotine, I think it was, and it was like backwards. His neck was all the way up. Came back and he ended up winning the fight, and it was a very ugly, dirty fight. But 9-0, good record, and he's got a mouth and he's got the style, and he's always around the girls and stuff like that, just like Sean O'Malley is. I'm assuming they're hoping he wins, so they have another person they can kind of promote and like get another star out of. Skill wise, we'll see exactly what it brings, and I think this is a good test for him to exactly, get what the UFC wants out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be straight. Like, I'm not familiar with either one of these guys. It looks like, I don't know if you can pull this up, Chase, just on your side.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Because I'm pretty sure whenever they do the faded black and white stuff,
Yeah,
that's their debut. Is this time?
yeah, it is. Yep,
Is this
because his last fight was on Dana White Contender Series,
Okay.
and that's where he had his first fight was the Contender Series. And then he ended up winning, where I told you he almost got decapitated.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Yes.
No,
You did say
that's
that at
okay.
the
That's
beginning.
okay. No, and that's where then he was talking some crazy stuff, and then he got like drunk or high or something, started partying with some girls. And
Okay.
it
I
was
have to,
ridiculous.
because I've watched like bits and pieces of Contender Series. I'm not a huge fan of it just because it's like, I don't know. Maybe when you're fighting that Contender Series, I'll be locked in. But I don't know, man. It's just the
It's
level of
kind of
fighter that's on there. That's why I'm like, I know you're gonna be there soon, man. Like I just
100%.
these guys that are on there, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
We will move on. It looks like that we are on to the prelims now.
Yep.
Oh goodness. Thomas Peterson. Oh goodness, and Gilhiram Pat. I can't pronounce that. I won't lie to you. Are you from? We know Tom Peterson. Do you know this Pat gentleman?
Dude, I don't even see these ones on this card because I'm looking at it right now. After McMillan, it goes to Jay Delino and Richala.
You're not seeing the
Oh, no.
heavyweight
Oh,
fight?
that fight. Yeah. I think that fight's off, dude, because it doesn't even show up on mine. Or maybe I need to reload my page. Yeah, I don't even have that fight right there. It's not showing up on my computer. I don't even see any of
Oh,
these two.
okay.
Yeah, so I don't even know either one of these guys. Straight up either.
I mean, I've seen Thomas Peterson fight. He's a apparently, which I didn't know until having him as my underdog lock and kind of backing him. We talked about Steven
Yeah.
Asplund a few weeks back.
Yep.
Apparently, him and Thomas Peterson have been close for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
And he considers Thomas Peterson. He called him his brother. So
Gotcha.
I guess they're really close, and he kind of looks up to him in a way. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
really all I know about Thomas Peterson. I know he fought who's goodness, who Asplin just fought.
Right. The big dude that came from
Petrino.
205 up to
Yeah, he just
heavyweight.
fought, but he fought Petrino. So
Yep.
I know that about him, and he lost, and it was a war. I watched that fight. It's just been it was a while ago, and it wasn't that great of a fight. So, but moving on, we'll just move on from there. Jose Delano, you said you got that one.
Yeah, that one popped up for me, and even when I go back
Okay,
to this,
Jose Delano and Robert Rachula.
yeah,
Do you know
I
either of
don't
these gentlemen?
really.
Because I do
I'm gonna
not.
be honest, I don't.
All right, we're gonna move on then. We're not gonna sit here and pretend to
Please.
just talk about stuff we don't know about.
Yep, cool.
Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel.
That one's not pulling up for me on this fight card.
I'll start going on this one while you find it.
Yeah,
Stuart Nickel, he's
there we go. I got it.
he's had a
Go
couple
ahead.
fights in the UFC, a handful of fights in the UFC. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, and he's lower level to put it kindly.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about this Costa gentleman
Okay.
out of Brazil. So Chase, do you got anything to back me up here?
Yeah, I'm about to look at stats right now and see what he's done. It looks like he lost his last fight, and that was the Lopez versus Silva card, and then that was
And we're speaking about
to.
Costa or Nickel.
We're talking about Costa right now, and then it
Okay.
looks like he beat Borjas. It was his last win, and that was May 4th of 2024. So it looks like he hasn't fought for a while because he had a loss between that, and that was September 13th.
When was his last fight?
September 13th, 2025, against Corino or whatever, Corino. Aiden.
Yeah,
Or
going on
Adrian.
pushing on 7 months.
Yeah, almost 7 months. And he got KO'd, TKO, which I never watched that fight, so I'm not 100% sure. And if I did, I'm not
Okay,
100%
well,
sure.
we'll move on.
Okay,
We'll move
that's fine.
on. We don't, like I said, I don't want to hang up on stuff that we're not.
100% sure on. Yeah.
Lando Venata versus Darius Flowers.
Ooh. Benato's good. Benato's good, but he is like, I didn't even know he was still fighting, I'm going to be honest. I thought he retired, actually. Flowers is great. Everybody was up on him for a while.
Yeah,
Both the
I was gonna
records are
say
kind of
I know
even.
Darius Flowers. I can't remember the last fight I saw him in, but
It seems like a gimme fight for both guys. It's kind of crazy. I didn't know Venata was still fighting. I know I'm really hung up on that, but like, dude was so tricky and had really great kicks and punches. I mean, he was very flashy, especially Venata fight Tony Ferguson, didn't he? At one point.
maybe
Yeah,
I
let
can't
me look.
say. I don't know if I've ever. Gosh, Venata. I'd have to go back and see. I don't know if I've ever seen him fight. I don't.
Okay, okay. No, that's okay. He's been in the game for a minute. He did fight King Green. I know he lost decision to that one. Then he also
Okay.
lost to Mel Hoover, and then what else did he lose? Charles Rodin, he lost to. So he had a few losses, and I know Flowers. Flowers was the guy everybody was talking about for a while, and he got brought in on like short notice. Um, and he was supposed to be like the big jujitsu guy, and I think he's got like a giant jujitsu tattoo on his chest, and he just hasn't been able to like pull the trigger on a lot of his stuff. So it would be nice to see either one of these guys make like a big highlight and then do something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I was right. So yeah, Michael Johnson, something Matthews. Yeah, he's on a 3-fight losing streak too. So they might be doing this as a favor to Venata because I know Venata was that guy for a while.
Who was
So that would
Darius
make sense.
Flowers' last fight? Look that up for me, buddy.
Yes, I will. It was because I just seen it was the 3 losses, and his last fight was
Carlson
July
Harris
13th. Yeah, July 13th. He lost by sub.
against who?
Elder, Evan Elder,
Has he fought Carlson Harris?
Carlson Harris. No, he has not.
Why do I? Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm not
Look at that.
familiar with who this is. Okay, we're gonna move on, buddy.
Yep, sounds good.
Everyone who's been in the chat, thank you. Appreciate you. We're over an hour in right now. I know it doesn't feel like it. At least for us, it doesn't. I
Yep.
could talk fights all night with my buddy Chase here. We are toward the end of UFC Fight Night, Moicano versus Duncan. We're just doing a little preview for the upcoming card next weekend. Excuse me. We did a recap on the UFC Seattle card earlier on. And so now we're just rolling, kind of just seeing what fights that we at least we know about in this upcoming card, and just kind of rapping about it. So we got Elise Pereira versus Haley Cohen.
That's all you, bro. I don't know either of these guys.
Just if you got Google pulled up, just look up Elise Pereira. Is this?
Yes.
Is she the really young one? Is she like 19 or 20?
Yeah, they
Just
ever
tell me
has
how old she is.
He's 20.
Yeah. I want to say she was, and she lost her UFC debut, correct?
Yeah, she did. She lost it decision.
Yep. Yeah. And against who?
Rendon.
Oh wow, yeah, who just lost a couple cards ago. That's funny. Yeah, she awesome kickboxing. Very, 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 highly touted prospect. Elise Pereira was no relation to Alex Poatan Pereira, because he actually does have a sister. He has a sister who fights, and there was a lot of confusion when she was making her debut because she's from Brazil as well. So not Poatan's sister, but still, still a good prospect. Haley Cohen, I can't remember the last time I saw her fight. I'm kind of on Chase. I'm kind of with Chase in the same boat as him when it comes to women's MMA. I mean, it's when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's really, really bad. So, no, Elise Pereira is an awesome young prospect. So hopefully she can kind of, I don't know, how this matchup is for. I'll do a little tape on this one, because she is so young. So it's interesting when they have, like the my wife calls him Spider Monkey. So I'm Raul Rosas Jr. Just these super young fighters in the UFC. It's really cool to see. So moving on, Asmat Bakoyev versus Tresean Gore. Go ahead, Chase.
Why are they running in this fight? I mean,
I didn't. Yeah, this is, like I said, it's kind of, you can kind of tell, guys. This is definitely live, and we didn't really do a lot of like research or homework on this upcoming card. And I feel like we're just gonna rock it like this. I feel like that's kind of fun, because I'm not the kind of capper that I don't like putting out. I see a lot of these MMA content creators, and it's no disrespect, and I understand why you do it, because you want your views, you want your clicks, but I'm not gonna put out a card 2 weeks ahead, a prediction show. Okay, I'm just not going to do it. You're going to get my prediction show 3-4 days maximum before the event. That's just how I'm going to rock it. So I kind of like how we're doing this, because this is going to be, I'll kind of use this show as just kind of my first look at the card as a whole. Because my show, I focus on the main and co-main. That's what folks are coming for. So that's what I focus on. And then in the recaps, I'll kind of touch on everything. In our previews, we'll touch on everything. So I kind of like what we're building here, Chase. I do. But why are you confused on why they're running this fight? Talk to me.
Well, because number one, it's in Vegas, and Vegas is usually pretty square about their matchmaking and stuff. And they usually don't want it super unfair. It's a 6-4 guy versus somebody who's 20-4. And that being said, like Gore got really stomped out a few times. No offense to him. It's great that he got there, but with a record like that, it's kind of crazy. Especially the way he lost KO and then unanimous decision before that. I wouldn't expect them to do this unless they're trying to get Bakoyev a win, which, I've watched Bakoyev a few times, and like,
who was Tresean Gore's last fight? Help me out, Chase.
His last fight was, because I remember his knockout. His last fight was Barrera, and he lost by decision.
Bruno?
Rodolfo Vera. And that was August 2nd.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm surprised they got this fight through. I really am. I'm not trying to be rude to either of the guys, but it's just like, I'm really surprised Vegas let this fight through, honestly. Unless it's like a last minute thing and he just stepped up. and then maybe they had to
What are the
like
records? You
sneak
said six. Say the
Six
records
and
again.
four versus 6-4 versus 20-4, bro. And that's the reason why I was
6-4
super
versus 20-4.
20-4. Yeah, 20-4, bro. So like Gore's 6-4, and he's on a 2-fight losing streak.
Oh, they're trying to get him out of there. Then okay.
Yeah, that's what it kind of seems like. And like I
Yeah.
mean, especially coming off of
Yeah, they're
KO's
done with
last
him.
fight.
He was hot for he was a hot prospect. He had a couple nice finishes. If you have his record still pulled up, a couple nice submissions too,
Yeah,
right? Some
yeah.
sneaky guillotines, front
Mhm.
chokes.
And even this other guy, like
So
Boya, he was good. I watched him fight a few times before like losing, and he lost to Belar Uzari or something. I don't know. I'm terrible about reading, guys, if you haven't noticed. But he lost by KO, but I thought he was winning the fight going up into it, and then he got finished, unfortunately. But like I just think he's kind of a mismatch too. But like you said, I think they might be just trying to use this fight to get him out of there. I don't know, man. It's kind of
kind
I
of what
kind
it
of feel
seemed like
bad
to
for
me.
Gore.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Diana Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto.
I don't think I know either of these guys or gals, honestly.
Diana Barbosa is she's really good.
Okay.
She's good early though. She tends to kind of tail off, but she's very very good. Very good kickboxing. I don't know what exactly
Yeah.
her style is. I don't know if it's Muay Thai or kickboxing, but she's very good striking. I should just say overall, she's a
Okay.
very good striker. Extremely strong, extremely physically fit. Melissa Gatto, I she's been around for a while. The name is extremely familiar. I know I've seen her fight. I just can't place it. I can't place it in the fights. Chase, help me out. Pull Melissa Gatto's record up for me.
Gotcha. Yep. Sounds good. And then you were right about Barboza too. I just wanted to look that up before that. A lot of her wins or finishes are in the first round. She only has
Yeah,
one decision, and that was
yeah.
like a couple
Yeah,
fights
she's a
before.
storm early. But what was her last fight? Well, once you're done looking up
He lost her
Gatto.
last fight. He lost her last fight by KO, I think it was. But I'm on Gatto's right
Yeah.
now, and Gatto, she won by KO in the third round versus uh Samaria's Vilda or Vildal or
What?
Vidal.
How long ago?
That was May 18th, 2024. It's almost a
Mm.
year ago. But she
And
lost.
Barbosa fought last when?
She fought last when? Let me go back. She fought. Hold on, sorry. Do, 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 do. August 16th, 2025 against Kay Silva. Yeah, Karine Silva or Sylvia. And she lost by decision.
Oh, really? And she lost. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good loss. That's not a good look at all. Because that's who Macy Barber beat in December. So they turned
Ah,
her around quick, and that was that. So okay,
no,
that was the card. So not a bad pace there, Chase. Not bad.
no.
We got through. We broke down a card, and then we recapped a card.
Yeah.
Less than an hour and a half. Not bad.
Mm.
So I want to get into. Let's see here. Oh,
Trying to look at the MVP card.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, let's do
All right.
that. I should not be searching midway through like this. Sorry.
It's all right. I'm doing the same thing.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Because I don't like I said, I really want to touch. I want to touch on this fully once Jake Paul announces the whole card.
Right.
But let's see if they have anything out. Gosh, look at this. Look at this. Ronda Rousey. Oh my goodness. See, this is why I didn't want to do this. Okay. Yeah, we're not prepared for this.
You're good, bro. I got it.
Do you got it ready?
Yeah, just type in MVP MMA card and then go to Google and just look up images, or it'll like redirect you to Instagram or something. But I got it off.
That's a better idea.
There
Whatever.
you
I
go.
mean, this may not be official. Um,
Because they did announce the even the bottom fight too. They got him an opponent. I think it's like something Jenkins, Brendan Jenkins.
all right. You know what, Chase? This is gonna fight me. Oh, here we go. Nice.
There we go.
It's not trying to fight with this
We
too
got a big
much.
dog. So at one where it says the to be determined, they got Brendan Jenkins there. Just a heads up. Which it's even not on mine, but my teammate or my coach sent it to me just because we've been talking about the card.
So is
Because
this
we had
what you
some
got?
people.
What is this? This is everything.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
is it? Two,
That's the
four,
same one I
six,
got. That's the same
eight.
one I got right now. Yep.
Okay. So this they got 11 fights.
Yeah, and then they already have that to be determined fight already filled in.
And so
And
who is the guy? Who's the gentleman you knew? That's the main reason we're bringing this up. So
all right, cool. Kenny
thank
Cross.
you,
Kenny Cross.
Round 3 team, for bearing with us. You know, we're almost an hour and a half in. I wanted this to be a little bit longer of a live. You know, we had a couple cards to break down. I want to touch on this briefly, this MVP card, and then we're going to kind of talk just very, very briefly about just our coaching lives like we always do at the end. Okay, so who is the gentleman that you've trained with, Chase?
Kenny Cross. So he's in the middle of the card right before they get to Ngannou. Yep. And
We can't click on it.
the
Yeah, this fight right here,
person who,
everybody, Kenny
yeah,
Cross.
very explosive. I'm going to talk about his fighting style first before I get into his personality because he's a riot. He's crazy,
Okay.
literally.
Yeah, I like the
Fighting
matchup just on
style.
paper. Sorry, before you go here, I like
Yeah,
22-2 versus 17-4. I
yeah.
like those records matched up.
Yeah, Kenny's got a very explosive style. He's got heavy hands at 55. Cuts quite a bit of weight, really big guy. Like I think he's 6'1" or so, but like packs on the size. Like he's a really big boy. Even when I had to work with him, jiu-jitsu's pretty decent. His wrestling's amazing. He was a really good wrestler in high school, but his hands are what shines the most. Especially that's where like if you watch a lot of his fights, he's got a lot of knockouts. Training with him was a lot of fun, especially because he fought on the outside so well and he could hit you because of his explosiveness. He would try to really jump in, even if he wasn't the most technical a lot of the times. And he's only gotten better. So, like, I don't even know how it would go now with him. But, like, him as a person, the wildest ball of energy ever. Like, one time he blew out his ankle and his Achilles because he tried to run up a wall and grab like onto this piece of wood, almost like a Ninja Warrior course. And everybody was like, "Hey, man, maybe you shouldn't do that because it happened to somebody else and they blew out their Achilles too." He goes to do it as soon as he jumps up there, jumps down, boom, blows the Achilles right at a dodgeball tournament that we were having in the gym that same day. Out, I think he was out for like 7 or 8 months, maybe 9. I don't remember exactly how long it was. Right after that, then he gets the call to fight the ultimate Dana White looking for, or not Dana White looking for a fight. It was the Contender Series. He fought it on the Contender Series, cuts his weight. Like I said, he's a big boy, so cutting weights a lot. His opponent pulls out. All right, they call him back like a week later. He's on a boat partying, and they're like, "Hey, we got you another fight, Contender Series next week." He's like, all right, cuts the weight again, dying cutting the weight. He wins his fight. It was kind of a grueling fight because he was so dead from cutting the weight. They put him on the mic. He's just huffing and puffing. So Dana doesn't sign him because of probably him huffing and puffing, unfortunately. And then he goes out, he fights for XFC, which is a pseudo big promotion. They keep on closing the opening. Wins a few fights there. He leaves to go to Vegas. Now he's trains out of Syndicate. And now, as far as I can tell, he's fighting for MVP. And I'm assuming he's trying to use this to springboard himself back to the UFC, especially against this guy, Paranese or whatever. Great striking. I heard he's got super technical kickboxing. I was listening to another podcast, The Casuals. They were talking
Where is he
about
out of? Is he out of Bellator?
France.
What promotion did he fight for?
Which one? Paranese?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't even know. The only reason I even heard about him, because they were briefly talking about Kenny, but they were super on Paranese. They were talking about how great his striking is and that he's like an
I feel
amazing
like I've seen him
kickboxer.
fight before, but I could be wrong. Like just like randomly, I
Okay.
feel like I caught it like on some random promotion, but I could. It might not have been him.
Okay. Okay.
It may not have been him. But that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that'll be a fun fight. Hopefully Kenny gets done. So like I said, he'll probably still get he could potentially still get the call up to the UFC through this. I mean, they're still trying to put Nate on a UFC card, especially the way Dana was talking about it. And he's never given anybody credit for fighting for another promotion. He was like, yeah, no, you know, the money was right for him. And when have you ever heard Dana say that about anybody?
Right.
So I think he's pretty cool with this card, which is a good thing.
That's awesome. All right. Well, that's yeah. I don't like I said. That's really all I wanted to do with that.
Yep.
Um, got a few more minutes here, Chase.
Yep. Yep.
What do you got going on with coaching, man?
This week we're gonna be working on some like for the guys in general. It's gonna be like more single leg setups, stuff like that. Using the outside to step in with the single legs and stuff like that itself. Also, I'm doing my first ever promotion ceremony for some guys that, you know, I got some guys getting some blue belts, another guy getting his purple. So it should be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited. It should be the first time I'm promoting guys, so it's kind of cool to pass on that lineage now and, you know, make my legacy through some of these guys and, you know, have that Detroit style. Because I will say, and this is no disrespect to anybody in North Carolina, there's just a different level from my gym compared to out here. So it's like the guys that I'm promoting are at that level of what I expect out of my school and where we're back at home. So it's cool to kind of put that knowledge forth to a lot of these guys. So it should be exciting. Really excited for Friday.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
I unfortunately don't have the best news. You know, I've only been out there with the girls, and just to kind of let everyone know, we're always going to end our round three dinner with a little bit of personal stuff. So, like, I coach soccer. You know, I've played soccer since I was 8 years old. I turned 32 in July, um, and I coach soccer now. Currently, I'm in a high school near me, and I do. I coach the boys and girls high school team. And so I just want to touch on that a little bit. And then Chase is a jiu-jitsu coach and just an overall MMA coach.
Yep.
He's at Greenfield. Is it Greenville Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, Greenville Jiu Jitsu.
Greenville Jiu-Jitsu, and then his home gym is Detroit Jiu-Jitsu here in Michigan. He's currently right now all the way down in Carolina, and he's
Yep.
still willing to do these streams and help me out here. So just to go back here, yeah, I've only been able to get out there one time with the girls so far this year.
Mhm.
I'm one of the assistant coaches on the team. It's my buddy and his wife who run the team, and they do a great job, and they really care about the kids, and it's just awesome to be a part of. If you play sports or around sports or just have any desire to be like just do it, I can't express it enough. I'm sure Chase feels the same way, but
Yeah.
unfortunately we have our not to ramble too much, we have our first game on Wednesday,
Oh,
and
nice.
we haven't had a full practice together yet, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be rough. We graduated 8 seniors last year for the girls team. Majority of them were starters. I think at least 6 of them were starters. So it's a little bit of a rebuilding phase. We won the league last year, and we got moved up. So it's going to be tough sledding this year. But I got faith in kind of our system and what we do, and my buddy Mike who runs the team. He does a great job, and we're going to figure it out like we always do. So I am Rayfield. Down below me here is Chase Militia Keebler. This was the second episode of Round 2 Dinner. So thank you for hanging out with us. Chase, you got anything else for the people?
Nah, have a good night, y'all.
All right. I'm going to get something to eat. So you
Yeah.
guys take it easy, all right? And we will see you next time in Round 3.